Yoga for Healing Warriors. I've been tugged to pull from this deck. I don't know why, but I'm listening. It keeps calling my name. At least 3 cards. And then we're going to go into the reading and see what's in store. There's something in this deck. Message. I grabbed the book. I'm going to read the cards that fall. On not only just my interpretation, but I want to go even deeper since I'm being tugged so much. And look at the pages in the book. Discipline, training, consistency, practice. Practice makes perfect. Enlightenment, studying, practicing, being creative. It also does bring in more enlightenment. It really does. You go to look up something, the monster within. You go to look up something. I think that's why it became a terminology of the rabbit hole. Because you go to look up one thing, you look up that, and while you're researching that, you see something else, and then you go down that one, and yeah. You can have a lot of different morals or barrels. One can lead you to several. Okay, discipline, 34. Discipline is important. This card. It is time to lay a plan down, to create structure, and to stick to commitments. You must clear doubt, and into the space its absence creates poor action. Pour, as in pour in. You must clear doubt, and into the space its absence creates you poor action. This is another way of saying having the confidence. I mentioned this before in another reading. Having the confidence to take that one step, accomplishing a small goal you set for yourself, gives you more confidence, and you keep making those steps, even when you don't feel like making the steps, unless otherwise guided. Enlightenment. Number 2. So we have a 7 and a 2. That 7 is like pay attention, focus. You gain more enlightenment. What do we have for enlightenment? Something that I'm picking up, harvest also with this card all the time. Like a perennial. Something that grows. You learn a little bit about something, and over time, you keep learning. You keep becoming more enlightened with your discipline. And apparently this discipline that brings this enlightenment also brings along jealousy that may stir the monster within, your dark side, your shadow side. That's why it's important to be with self, be able to have enjoyment with self, creating with self. Enlightenment. Make time to listen to your inner guidance, which will have bright ideas for you at this time. Attempt to move beyond habitual solutions to issues that feel entrenched. Dare to try something unusual and innovative. It might just work. That's what I would. This is like confirmation upon confirmation. In fact, they play out back and forth on each other. You have to have the discipline and the focus to gain the enlightenment. And with the enlightenment, you must maintain the discipline. And be okay with self and your guides. There's one particular guide that is protecting you. You may be seeing a black cat around your house. You may just happen to see one driving. You may have seen it at least twice, 3 times the charm. This is a protector. A good monitoring spirit. I have a lot of cats. If I look at my cameras over the night, 3 a.m., 2 a.m., I'm seeing all different kinds of cats around my house. They come sit on the porch, they chill. I have cats inside, but I've had cats before, and I've lived in this house, and these cats were never around this house like this. They like to say hi. But take a chance on yourself. Be confident that one leap forward. No matter how people look at you, I'm seeing the Fool card in my mind's eye. A lot of people might say you're crazy because you're doing something different, creative, something individualistic, one of a kind, something that's for you. Only you know it. Only you can bring it forth. And this brings the jealousy. 26. That's an 8. Going up. That's nice. Jealousy is a nasty thing. Something I'm glad that I have never sat in. Because if I see something of someone, I don't see it as, oh, I'm jealous of them. I see it as, oh, how can I be more like that? Or just whatever it is that is peeking out about them. I want to develop it more within myself. And I am blessed, I feel, to never have dealt with that kind of thing. It's like on the line of envy. Especially when you understand that we are all a reflection. What you see in someone that may do whatever it does to you, that means you need to research yourself. And if it's something that you want to be more like, why are you going to be such a liar to yourself that you just allow it to become a jealousy thing, a trait where you become angry at this person, envious, become poisonous, venomous, like a snake. Jealousy. When you find yourself evil or a demon, when you find yourself called evil or a demon, or accused of doing harmful things, first examine your conscience. Now all of us have made errors, most especially we vampires. This is a deck of Children of the Night, the vampire. But the Lamia teaches you that you need not go mad with grief or allow another's cruelty to curse you. That's right. Don't allow their anger, their feelings to be projected onto you. And if you do that, taking one step at a time as everything else, you'll feel it really quick when it's not your energy. you'll ask yourself the questions. Why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling like that? And then you come to the terms a lot of times, hey, that's not my vibe. It's projection. You know, like people say, if your ear ringing, somebody talking about you, or your ear itching, or whatever that saying is. But you get my drift. Examine your conscience. Now, all of us have made errors, especially we vampires. But the Lamia teaches you that you need not go mad with grief or allow another's cruelty to curse you. You can rise above this and be true to yourself. Live through example. Be strong. This time will pass. Remind yourself and others that those who speak ill of all in their turn. None shall escape their turn. That makes me think of, there's always somebody bigger and badder than the next. There's always somebody that knows something more than you know. This is where this part comes in, and these people get it twisted, and it becomes jealousy. Because they see someone doing something or having something that they don't have, that they would like to have, but instead of looking within themselves to see how they can achieve it, to see how they can obtain it, they throw the evil eye. Already having the self-doubt, lack of confidence, and not taking a foot forward, but taking a foot back, shrinking themselves, trying to fit in somebody else's shoes or their dress or whatever. The monster within. Oh, last one, and then we'll get into the deck. 25-7. I like that number. 2777. If you begin to practice discipline each day and create new ways of dealing with frustrations and difficulties, you will find your so-called negative traits can be reshaped, and who you are will be redefined. Changing yourself is a great purpose. This is yours at this time. We have free will. People have made choices. Some have decided to let the monster grow and become envious and stay on the dark side, while others have been being disciplined, putting in the work, finding the enlightenment which brings upon these haters, that allows the monster within to take over and devour them. Instead of using what they're seeing as energy to help give them power, to put in the effort within themselves, like turning pain into power, that type situation. I like that message. I think it's perfect timing, especially when the warriors have been dealing with the undisciplined jealousy and hate, the evil eye and spell work that's been thrown at us, some of us for over 10 years. Half of that time, we were even unaware we're so protected. But as we awakened and became to be able to see beyond the veil, which that veil only stays if you do not take the step forward to research, to unlearn, re-enlighten yourself or reteach yourself the truth, removing the lies. That's what that card was saying. Removing the waste and putting something into action that's more creative, more on the higher vibration. It brings happiness. Messages sideways. So there may be a difficulty in some messages coming in. Some messages may be blocked by a main female. What about these messages that are not getting through? What about these messages? Messages of toil and labor. About a courthouse situation. Documents. A message hasn't come through yet of the work that someone has been putting in a court situation. They may be being blocked by a female that does not want an ending to occur on her pathway. On this long journey that she's been taking, short distances, long distances, wanting to obtain light. Messages that are not coming through of the work that has been done, that's not coming to an ending or is restricted on a pathway. What about this work? What do they want to come to an end? What is it they don't want to come to an end? A mature woman. Maybe the mature woman doesn't want it to come to an end. Blocking this journey, this path that they don't want to come to an end. What else do we need to know about this? Privileged lady somewhere in the background. Or maybe this mature woman is a privileged lady that has been putting in work, that she's not stopping on her path, but her journey has been delayed along with some messages. False person. Message of concern about some messages have been delayed that this mature lady has been putting out, sending out. They've been delayed by this privileged lady, this false person. But there's messages of concern now. I'm picking up that this mature woman is aware. She picked up on this false person who's been delivering messages to cause blockages. And she's been putting in a lot of work that she does not want to stop on this pathway. But there's something she didn't see, this false woman, that's causing a delay in her progress, in her journey. She's receiving messages of concern. Something about unexpected money, maybe? Finances? Something that she was supposed to get or working toward? So these messages, what is it that we need to know about the messages? Lovers at the bottom of the deck. Messages about a court was blocked. There was some work that being done behind the scenes. Work being done behind the scenes. Some woman was tugging at a dude, causing delays. Somebody that may be related to her. She doesn't want these messages to get through. She doesn't want to stop the work that she's doing, but it's coming to an end. Grief and sorrow is in store. So these messages have to deal with a court situation and the work that was done, maybe the thievery of this false person and her companion that they don't want to bring to an end. What about this mature woman? What about the mature woman? It may be a child of hers. She sees the immaturity, something that's going to bring her pleasant news. Maybe it's the creation, a birthing of something, something that took time to develop. Give me one more on this small child. Lovers in reverse. Messages blocked concerning a court situation. There's been work being put in to not cause an ending to this pathway that they were on, this false person, but that's coming to an end. This false person may be the mature woman that may be expecting a small child, but they're not in a loving relationship. Let's move along. Let's let this journey sideways. Hope and Big Water. They foreseen that they would be able to make it through any rocky route on this path. They trusted that they would not face any endings to whatever is going on with this court situation, which we will get to. Give me a card of this false person. She is not gaining abundance. And it may actually be a couple. There's two people in this card, two people in this card. We're talking about two people that don't love each other, but they may be living together. There's some people that are close. And now they're getting messages of concern about this work that they've been putting in. Flowers at the bottom of the deck. Something they wanted to be gifted to them. Something they didn't pay attention to what it was rooted in, the foundation of it, the origin of it. Something to do with the origin. Damn, flowers again. They were working on something that they were creating that was going to take a process. They didn't take heed to their ancestors, their lineage. They only paid attention to greed. They wanted to paint the picture differently than what it actually was, being false. There are people that would tell you that all of these flowers were white when they're not all white. What do we need to know about these court documents that the court has? There's gossip going on. And they've burned bridges. They're locked in for this work that they've been doing because a closer look has been taken. Somebody's paying more attention to this toil and labor. What is this toil and labor? Something they're anchored in. They're stuck. They can't get away with this. There's an ending to it. Give me a card on this ending. Oh. Yeah. They didn't. Yeah, there's a man involved. There he is. This guy that was a macho man that did not realize they were facing a tower. Endings. For sure endings. Because they took it too deep. They went too far. But everything they tried to bury was pulled up, drawn up into the light. And this mature woman, this woman that's old enough, it doesn't mean she's gray-haired, but it's a woman that knows better, may have had a child with this man that they are not even in love with. This has to do with family. It may not even be his child. That keeps coming up. There's no love, there was no baby, or it's not his baby, because this woman always comes up as a snake, a cheater, a liar, promiscuous, a narcissist. Also, this person has come up as always working for something towards abundance, taking, stealing, conniving. That journey of hers that she thought she was going to go far and had big hopes for, it is known that she's a snake. That's anchored in. The reputation is gone. Damn. Sneaky, conniving fox that worked with moon magic, worked in the cycle that the pattern was recognized. Because they don't know anything more. They're not elevating. They're just on a continuous cycle, rotation, like a hamster on a wheel. They're not gaining this big money because they're not even loyal to each other. They're both rats, sneaky, dirty rats. This is why they're getting these messages of concern, because they're not going to be living life in luxury. They're being gossiped about. They've burned bridges. They're having tower moments. All this work they put in, they're tied into, they're anchored in, together, bound, because they didn't pay attention. They didn't care about their lineage. They didn't care even about the child that they wanted to use to try to entrap someone. They have no loyalty to themselves or to others, not even their own. Now that is some dirty rat shit. Wow. I would end it there, but something's saying keep going. That envious and jealousy might be because there are codependent people, energies, male and female, that see you putting in the work, focus on yourself, being enlightened, growing, living happily single, while they need to be codependent to feel like they're having to come up. Codependent in the Bonnie and Clyde, like that's some kind of love in energy. A ride or die. Why does it have to be a die? Why you gotta be in dirt together? Why do you have to have a partner in crime? Make it make sense. Stop putting the spell works on yourself. A power couple. Strong in love, vitality, creating. Happy waking up every single day. Seeing each other but not having to be up under each other. Both making strides. Not know what can you bring to the table. Well, what can you bring to the table? Because they both bring in the fucking table. Both setting it together. They're in heartbreak. People are even heartbroken hearing the gossip about these karmic ties that have been made. They're anchored in. People are turning their back on them. And this man that's seeing a lot of towers along with this false female, love, hate, hot, cold, living in the shadow. People are seeing their true colors now. With no care of their lineage, their bloodline, knowing that they're old enough to know better, getting into situationships calling it love when it's not. A phony queen bee. A queen bitch. She must miss you. If there's a divine masculine watching that has an ex that went off with someone else, or flip it and flop it, reverse it. If you are female and this is a male, a king hobosexual, a sly fox, wanting to know if you have seen. Yeah, you've seen. You've totally rejected. Stop me mid-conversation, mid-wording with this card flipping out. You rejected that because you know it's hot, cold, love, hate. Someone that's detached. Someone that you've ghosted or ghosted you. Whatever way it go, I'm sure you're happy to be removed from that energy. Although they're coming up here. Maybe because someone's in your energy. They're getting shocking news, this couple that have massive regrets, because they're out of time. Their moon work, their skills, their side hustle is null and void, not working. That's what I have for you right now in the energy. Peace.